Mumi here, 100K to FIRE movement, and today's macro market is for 3rd of April 2025, not 4th. Today we're going to talk about a few things between US versus non-US countries in terms of stock market, and also some of the tariff and civilization history, and some of the latest updates about the different trades, tariffs, and what are some of my personal takeaway from it. First thing first, this is a chart of VTI versus VXUS, which is the US all stocks versus non-US all stocks. And over the last 15 years, we can see that it's on a clear uptrend line. And right now, we are seeing that US is back to a pretty value zone. And over the next few days, if there's ever another further clash or crash towards this zone, then that will be even better. By then, that should be a pretty strong support, at the very least for US, which is definitely the market leader as well. While was doing some research about today, I managed to learn a little bit more about the history. So I think something new that caught my attention is that in the past, US rebuilt some of the countries when there was a lot of war. And at the point of time, the US wasn't really superpower until about pre-1970s. And then eventually that is when a lot of the superpowers started to come off from US, Coca-Cola, Ford, IBM, and everything else. So what Trump currently is doing, whether you like him or not, what he's trying to do is to cut waste, at the same time increase income. So do things at the same time, cut expenses and also increase income. And I guess this is somewhat like a minimalist thing as well. And in total, he wants to secure $4 trillion from what he's doing. And then eventually their whole nation is actually will be in a better place. I have been also observing seasoned business owners and also seasoned investors. Actually, somehow they all do not disagree with him. They didn't really comment much about how he do things. It is just, I think I observed that they all more or less favor what he's doing, whether regardless the how, but the what, because it has been an ongoing concern about whether will US collapse and whether if USD will be collapsed and all. I guess what Trump is currently doing is long-term gain and short-term pain. Short-term, there will be a lot of disruption, and we will only know how the economy will be like over the next 2 to 3 quarters. So we just see how. And I also tabulated a list of the tariffs based on the tariff range and all. You can feel free to read through. And right now we are back to a zone again. And 3 final takeaways, right? First thing first. Developing nations, looking at what's the top tier, highest tariff, and also the bottom tier, which is the minimum tariffs. I was just find some similarities. Guess, right? A lot of the similarities comes from top tariffs came from a developing country, and my guess is that they have been struggling to make their ends meet. So at the very what they are capable to do is to sell their product and services so that they can make their livelihood. But I guess going forward it will be tougher for them because they only have a few choices. Either they raise up their price and sell it over to US as per normal, but at the same time, their fees are not as competitive, not as attractive. US may not want to buy. That's the first thing. Second, they send businessmen over, set up businesses over there, create jobs for US citizens. So that is exactly what Donald Trump wants as well. And in order for them to get out of this red race, so-called, they probably need to find other trade partners to be able to trade and sell over at a lower tariff rate. This episode would likely unite the world, unite non-US, I guess, to be able to trade more with one another, maybe. The other observation I saw is that developed countries generally, maybe Singapore is one of them. There's also many other countries that is getting the 10% tariff. So generally, these companies have pretty good two-way mutual trades. With that, it wasn't so. And I guess, right, in order to be like this, the countries got to be prosperous so that we are able to buy stuff from US. And generally, US product and services were definitely more expensive as compared to many developing countries as well. And so I think one last thing that I've noticed and learned today is that US has a very large consumer base, and they are going to just because they have a large consumer base, they will have the bargaining power. It's like have a group buy, and if we have a lot of people under our group buy, then we can have bargaining power. So I guess this is what is happening right now. I also noticed that some sectors such as the semicon, I think materials and some energy as well, they are exempted from the tariffs. There are some micro, broad-based and micro stuff still to go and research for. Then the other question I do ask myself is, okay, so what about India and China? They do have a lot of people, but at the same time, I did question myself once again, is this really? So it may not be, because China is more or less self-sustaining and actually service their own domestic people. Because of that, they have been selling their services, which at the very least, in terms of this perspective from US versus China and US versus other countries, they have a lot of trade deficit. That's why Donald Trump right now is trying to go and find the money back. Once again, whether you like it or not, this is what he's doing, and we shall see what's going to happen next. For the time being, we are still seeing a lot of support. So we haven't reached any real turnaround. We hope report, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.